Hi, Talia and Jim. Okay, well, thanks to Colin, he is letting me use his essay as an example, or his paper, I guess I should say. Um, Also, if in your Diana Hacker book, there's a tab toward the back that's specifically for MLA style. And if you go to that, toward the end of that tab, there's a sample paper that you can look at and you can see all of this. But I'm going to just show you how to make sure that you have it correct. So the first thing that you're going to want to do in your Google Doc is go to Insert, and you're going to click on Headers and Footer, and you're going to click on Header. Now, probably your cursor's over on the left-hand side. You have to go to your Align tool, and you have to click on Right Align to make sure that your last name and page number gets put in the right-hand corner. So once you click on Right Align, it will also take you to the default font. So you're going to want to go in and change the font to Times New Roman, size 12. Type your last name, put a space, and then you're going to go to Insert, and you're going to go to Page Numbers, and you're going to click on the top left option. So after that, once you're in the body of the paper, and you can just click into the body to get there, you might want to hit double space to make sure that everything is double spaced. So the top line gets your name, first and last. The second line gets my name. The third line needs to be ENG106. And the fourth line is the date. And it's critical, according to MLA guidelines, that you go day, month, year. So I would not want to see anything like 10, or sorry, I guess it'd be 1, 10, 20, 21. That's just, you can't do it that way. So another thing sometimes students will do is they'll put in an extra space here, and then they want another extra space after the title. Please don't do that. The whole paper is exactly double spaced. So one of the things I'll do when I go through this is I'll be looking for last name and page number or paragraph number all the way throughout. Here I can tell Colin's source did not have an author, so we had to use the title. Looks like Colin might need to go back and think about putting things into paragraphs. The next thing I want to talk about is your works cited page. And this needs to say works cited centered at the top. And it needs to be formatted just like this. First of all, we can see that it's in alphabetical order by what comes first. So even though this doesn't have an author, and this one doesn't have an author, we go by the title. Starts with D, goes in the D spot. And then we have F, M, and another M. But right now you might be wondering how to achieve this hanging indent. Works cited pages are kind of like the opposite of paragraphs because we don't indent the first line, but the other lines do get indented. So, okay, so let's say this is not, oh, I don't know how to undo it. See these, I don't know what they're called, but this little blue rectangle and this little upside down triangle will be like this. What we want to do is we want to put a cursor here and hit the tab button, but that doesn't work. You can see it just does the exact opposite of what we want. So you need to put your tab on the second line, or your cursor, sorry, I meant your cursor. Put your cursor on the second line, and then I'm going to want to pull in that bottom triangle. It will pull the rectangle along with it, and that's fine. I go into 0.5 or half an inch. And then I can take that little top rectangle and pull that back out to 0. And that does what I need it to do. So that's that. The other thing you have to have, and I would highly recommend for you inserting your image to know what to do, that you go and you look at Purdue OWL, and under other, it's under the works cited, other common sources, if you scroll to an image. But right now I just want to show you how to do this part right here. And actually I'm going to maybe zoom in a bit. Okay, so for each section, you are supposed to insert a picture. And it's kind of tricky to do that with a caption in Google Docs. So what you actually have to do is you have to go into insert a drawing. And you're going to make a new one. And then you get a page that looks like this. And the first thing I'm going to do is hit action, and I'm going to put in an image. And you might have to mess around with this a little bit. Putting in an image is different for a MacBook than it is for Chromebook. But if you just mess around with it, once you find an image and you download it into your drive, you might have to mess around a bit, but you'll figure it out. I'm confident in that. So you've got an image here, and I will just grab this image. This is Colin, serial killer. And so I've got it here. Now the next thing I have to do is put my citation under it. So I have to click on this text box, and then I have to draw one. Okay, now I have a text box. It's also defaulting to Arial, so I want to make sure it's Times New Roman. And underneath your text box, I'm going to put figure 1, and it has to look like that, FIG period, 1 period. And I need to say what's happening here. My dog is whining in the background. I started a video with the pets in here, and they were rotten. I had to shoo them away and start a new video, but she's still being ridiculous. So this guy's David Parker Ray. I think this is him in trial. David Parker Ray at trial. And now I would need, need an L there. Now I would need the entire citation. So again, I'm going to tell you the best thing you can do is go to Purdue OWL, go to other common sources, and look at how to deal with an image. Now I need my whole citation. So this part, save and close. Okay, now Colin's probably not going to be too happy about this. We'll delete that. But if we go look at his other image, and this is not right. So he started it. What it should be in parentheses, he has the sentence here right, but what it should be if that came from David Parker Ray is, well, first of all, it must be the second one. It should literally be this whole thing in parentheses. And again, there's lots of grace this first time. Just like both of you, this is Colin's first time doing this. We don't expect perfection the first time. That's why we get, that's why we're doing this class, right? Because we don't know how to do this stuff. But you will see at some point in your text, you do have to reference the picture. And he has CFig 1 at the bottom of the page. He would really just need CFig 1. And he's missing a parenthesis there, but I'm not going to put that in for him. So anyway, there's a lot to figure out, a lot to do. Your picture can be anywhere. If you wanted this whole thing, if you wanted text to wrap it, it could be like that, and it can be moved. It could be like up here inside the text. I kind of personally prefer the look of that. So I might just leave it there and see if he notices. But every time I move things around, it does change the works cited, and that works cited page does need to be on its own last page. I can't have some of it on this page too. So anyway, hopefully that explains a few things. I know it took me longer to get this to you, but part of it is simply figuring out how to make this kind of a video with a screen catcher, basically. So anyway, go ahead and email if you have any questions about these items. And I believe this Wednesday I will be available for Comp 2 consult between 10 and 11:30. So if you want to Zoom in or if you want to come in person, it should be between 10 and 11:30. All right, thanks. Hopefully I can figure out what to do with this now, but that's all I've got.